it. I'm trying to see if I can stream to two different, um, to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So let's go to YouTube. New channel. Okay, so that seems to be working. And I'll go to my Facebook page. That seems to be working as well. Cool. Nice. And I assume the video feed is all right. So I got two, it's outputting to two streams to two different locations. So, and then on my screen, I've got YouTube chat and Facebook chat both pulled up. So, never tried that before, so we'll see how it goes. Where should I put you? Sit you over here. All right. Okay. I need to, let's see, do I want to do fingertips first or blades first? Let's do fingertips first. That way I've got something to put blades on. Yeah. So let's do that first. So I've got 3 Avenger gloves here. I could potentially do 4 if I use some of my scrap parts, but we'll see if I do that. Hey Joshua, how you doing? So far I've got, yeah, I don't know if you saw the intro, but I'm streaming to Facebook and YouTube at the same time right now. And so I've got both Facebook chat and YouTube chat pulled up on my computer. So, yeah, never done that before. So I'm seeing if that works. If so, that'll be nice because I hate picking like, oh, do I want to do YouTube today or Facebook today? You know, it's like, why can't I do both? Well, I think I'm doing it right now because I've checked both of my accounts and there is live video going on both platforms. So anyway, all right, let's make fingertips first. Get my keys out of my pocket. Let's not put them there. You know what? I'll just have them there. Okay, I got to cut out some copper. Is this also? I think, yep, this is type M. It's been down there for a while. Okay. I hate it when they've got the stickers on it. Thankfully, it just burns off. And if in the worst case scenario, I can always use the inside of the copper pipe. So, hey Chris. Yeah, it's been a little while. Got to get my butt off the couch and get back to work. Oh shoot, you know what? My pipe cutter's in my coat pocket upstairs. I'll be right back. Hold on. Sorry, give me 1 sec. smells like the lake out there. The wind blows just right. The smell of the Salt Lake just kind of wafts over everybody. It's great. Can thank the brine shrimp for that. All right. Fingertip, fingertip. I already have a fingertip for, unfortunately, it's not a beveled blade or anything. Well, it was one of my test fingers. Yes, I do. Certainly can't work with it the way it is right now. Gotta make sure to not cut my hand. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to get a good grip. You know what? Screw that. I'm just going to use a latex glove. There we go. Didn't have enough surface area to reach or to grab onto. All right, there's two. All right, that piece. Oops, I have this one. There's three. Nice. Okay, do I want to do all three? Why not? Yeah, let's do all three. So that means I gotta cut, let's see, I've got 3, 4, 9 more pieces. Yeah, that'll work out nice. Gotta love it when there's not a lot of leftover copper at the end of a segment. Means I'm getting my money's worth. I'm trying not to cut myself. Oh, that's better. Yeah, it popped open. Oh, that works. Okay. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. So, how's everyone's night going? Or day, depending on where you are. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So I need 3 more. Just going to make sure that everything looks okay on my YouTube page. Yep. Just making sure. Just haven't had any comments on it, which is a little unusual, but just making sure it's all working. I should get a non-squeaky chair. All right. There's really no good side to this piece of copper. Everything about it looks ugly. I think I'll probably just, that's the fingertips. These have to get touched up a lot anyway. Oh, there's the face, or there's YouTube. Hello. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Aaron. Hey, Aaron. There, I didn't separate the words there. I'll use which cloth? I did have a good weekend, but it's Monday. Work, work, work. How'd your weekend go? All okay? I hope. Nice. Oh, shut up, Aaron. I know you didn't have to work today. Well, you did do a lot over the weekend. Hey, Ian, how you doing? I hope I can't say that. Hope Chicago's treating you well. My parents are from Illinois, both of them. I think my mom's from Chicago. My dad's from, oh my gosh, why can't I remember? Illinois. Yeah, hope things hope, because I know it's like you had like frozen pipes or something going on. I hope that all got resolved. But yeah, it's been 60 degrees over here in Salt Lake. It felt like spring over here. I mean, we've had almost no snow all winter long. The gods of snow are just like, nope, not this year. I'm gonna have to plead ignorant on this. I don't know who Weird Paul is. Friend up in Connecticut got almost 40 inches of snow. By the way, people on Facebook, if I'm reading comments and you're like, what is he reading? I'm also reading chat from YouTube. I'm streaming both on YouTube and Facebook at the same time. That's good, Ian. Good to hear. So I hope you're well. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I was sad to see you go. You know, I mean, I know we don't hang out or anything, but still, you know, knowing you're not around these parts anymore. But you know, I understand. You know, plus sometimes change is just needed. But you know, I understand the employment situation, and that happens. I mean, for example, I mean, I know it would never happen with me because I work for a state agency, so they're not going to like ship my job out of state. But uh, yeah, if I worked for a company that long or as long as I have, I would seriously consider uprooting and going with just to make sure that, because especially if I was um, offered a pension, you know, and stuff like that. It's like if I had that, you know, that much time commitment to a single employer. Anyway, yeah. I hope you're well, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Aaron, for the Winter Olympics, yeah, we better get snow that year. Thankfully, it's not this year. Maybe the snow gods are like, we're going to set some aside. I hope you can hear me over the sound of this. You know, and as I keep doing this and dipping this hot copper into this bucket of water, eventually that water is going to get warm. It's like, ooh, these pliers are getting toasty. Been pretty lonely. Okay, thanks, Aaron. Now, pretty lonely at your new place or pretty lonely back here before you moved, and that was one of the reasons why you moved? Maybe the answer is yes to both of those. But thank you. Yes. I mean, I've been building gloves for, it'll be 20 years next year. Probably around what, September, I think? September of next year, I will hit 20 years building these. So yeah, it's been a long time coming, a long road. I know a certain somebody likes the sound of that, the copper hitting the water. It is satisfying. So yeah. Not just hearing it, but actually doing it, you know. Oh no, I'm on your TV. I'm larger than life. Actually, I'm probably bigger than I would appear on the TV. I'm certain that's not life size. Especially if I stand far away. All right. There's some stuff inside this pipe. That's weird looking. Oh, Chris, you got a metal punch finally? Welcome to the club, my friend. Let's see, I'm reading your comment, Ian. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, you, excuse me, you said you're going to have better space for your music, right? So that's always nice, you know. It was nice getting this place. I mean, it's a tiny. My condo is really small. It's not even 1,000 square feet, but it does have this full garage. Well, full as in meaning I can put a car in here. It's not a two-car by any means, but you know, and it's climate controlled. It's comfortable in here. I'm not cold, even though it's middle of winter. Granted, it doesn't feel like middle of winter right now, but although it is kind of cold outside now. But anyway, yeah, just because I used to just work out of a bedroom when I was at my parents' house before I bought this place. And, you know, so I was just kind of relegated to a single bedroom with my power tools on the back porch. And there's a spider. Did you find a home? Anyway, and now, you know, I've got my own place, and it definitely is a lot more convenient, especially since I got my Tesla. Um, Before, I never put my car in the garage. My garage was just a disaster area, but after we got our car, I decided to just redo everything in here. I used to have shelves further down on the walls and stuff, and um, yeah, the houses and apartments here. Yeah, that I would when I think of Chicago, I haven't been there since 1984. I want to say, um, so I will, or 1986, something like that, somewhere around there, mid to early 1980s. I was only like 4 or 5 years old, um, but that was the last time I was there on a vacation. No, never mind, I lied. I went to Flashback Weekend. Ha! I never went into Chicago. I never went to the city. I just went to, I landed at the airport, went to the convention center. That's, my hotel room. That was it. I was never actually in the city, so maybe that's why it didn't register to me. But yes, I get it. Chicago does feel like it's got some patina on it. So, but I'm sure there's new places out there too. But yeah, maybe particularly where you are, it might be a little more established, shall we say? The neighborhood has more wisdom. I wish I could heat this up with conduction. I mean, that works so fast. Is that what it's called? Conduction heating or something like that? Where you just kind of put it like over some kind of a bar. I've seen videos of it where they just put something over like a rod or something, and it just, within seconds, it just glows red. It's like, that would be nice. I would. What do I want for my birthday this year? Wink, wink. Just kidding. I don't even know. But that would save me some time instead of having to do this nonsense. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I am just softening the copper pipe, because copper pipe is extremely hard, a hard version of copper, because it's pipe. It's meant to withstand pressure, and so it's got a very rigid, structure to it. And it's just way too hard to bend it, and especially if I'm trying to replicate specific bends. It murders my hands. And ever since I tore a tendon in my arm, if I do that too much, this really starts to ache a lot, and it starts to burn. And so I'm trying to keep glove work down to at least something that's not so laborious and easier on my hands, because if I want to have longevity out of this, I don't want to destroy my tools. Well, I haven't kissed a man, so. and I wasn't about to quote the line correctly because some doofus is gonna clip that, and next thing you know, I've got videos posted online about me because I'm that popular, of me going, well, I have kissed a man. Damn it, I just did it. Talk about shooting oneself in the foot. Anyway, so there's that. Shows how far in advance my brain thinks. That's so dumb. Oh. It's like me just saying, I hope I don't hit my finger today, and then within 5 minutes, bam! Yeah. I'm just dumb. Dude. These players are getting hot. Now, I know you're not gonna understand this, but that's gonna be hot. Let's see. No problem, Ian. Feel free to drop in if you ever see me online, or if you shoot me a message privately, feel free. I'm usually always around. You should go say hi to my uncle. He still lives in Chicago. Just pop in. Hi. You don't know me, but your nephew says hi. So. Rockford, Illinois. That's where my dad's from. You know, speaking of small world, if you want to hang around for just a second, here's an interesting story about my parents. My dad's from Rockford. My mom's from Chicago. Um, my parents moved out to Salt Lake City. They didn't know each other prior to moving out to Salt Lake, but they moved out to Salt Lake City in the same year, and they met here in Salt Lake. I also want to say, I don't remember it. I could be mucking up this story, but I think they had, maybe they shared something about college. I'd have to ask them again to reiterate the story, but I think they shared college experiences, but they didn't know each other at college. But the fact that they were so close together in Illinois and then wound up being so close together in Salt Lake, and the fact that they moved independently from one another from Illinois to Salt Lake in the same year, and then they met. It was like it was meant to be. Yeah, it's one of those situations where I can imagine them talking to each other. Where are you? I'm having trouble talking. Where are you normally from? It's like, from Illinois. Oh, really? Me too. What part? You know. And it's like, hey, what school did you go to? This and that. Oh, me too. When did you move to Salt Lake? Oh, just last year. Oh, me too. It's like all these so did I type situations. Like, that would have been interesting to see it unfold. And they were probably just like, we're going to get married after the first date. It's like we see the writing on the wall already. Did I finish explaining what I was doing? Did I actually explain that I'm softening the copper because copper pipe is usually far too rigid to work with? I'm not certain if I actually said I'm softening the copper. That's what I'm doing. And then I got to split the copper pipe down the middle, flatten it out. I've got to stamp my parts out because these are Avenger gloves that I'm working on. Yeah. And then I will have fingertips with which to work. And yes, that, my friends, was proper grammar. I don't know why I did that. It just helps to have somebody to talk to. You know, because if I'm just in dead silent, I mean, I suppose I could turn you off and turn on some music, but it's my computer speakers. It doesn't sound good. It sounds tinny. You know, it's like, it's hard to jam out to laptop speaker music. Think this water is getting warm yet? I can test it. Let me feel. It's not, it's a little below room temperature. These pliers, though, are getting pretty toasty. One more piece, guys. Hey, watch me do this. Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I just took a piece on camera. Oops. How embarrassing. Hey, Kels. Well, you don't have to physically be here to distract your mind. You can join the conversation because it is a fireball of excitement. Oh, we've had some good conversations. But yeah, feel free to tune in if you have nothing better to do. Everyone, this is my niece, Kelsey. Kelsey, this is everyone else. Speaking of distracting your mind, why do you think I do this? Ha! Just kidding. I actually do this because I need the money. So, honestly, if I didn't need the money, I probably would have retired from doing this. Just because I don't quite have the motivation like I used to. Right now, the dollar bills are the motivation. You know, just after so many years, it's just like, ugh. But every now and then, it's just like you just get that itch where you're like, I'm gonna go work on a glove. It's kind of a creative outlet. It's important to have something, you know, if you have an artistic side to you, if you work a desk job, especially, you know. It's like I look back at my high school years and think, you know, why I excelled. I mean, my highest grades were always in like art oriented classes, like just art. I did a computer graphics class one year. I think I got like I did so much extra credit because I was so fluent with computers back then. I remember this was, you know, 1990s, you know, late 90s, you know, so the internet was just coming out and computers were really becoming utilized in schools. That kind of started to happen more in my junior high years. But yeah, they mostly in junior high they had the computers in the library, that kind of a thing. But it wasn't until high school where they actually started to get computers in the classrooms. And my computer graphics class had one. I was already comfortable using computers, and so I would just fly through projects. It's like probably the easiest day I've ever had in my whole school career, but you know, I was starting to think about what kind of a life I wanted to have after I graduated. And, you know, special effects and computer graphics were intriguing to me, and maybe video game creation and stuff like that. And so you can all see that panned out well. But anyway, it's like I would always be the first one to finish assignments in class, and then I'd go around. There were moments where I even showed the teacher how to do things. It's like, you sure I shouldn't be at the front of this class? And I took a pottery class. And my favorite of all my classes was drama. I always looked forward to drama class. And, you know, maybe that's like why I went into haunting at haunted houses when I was a teenager. It's because I found acting to be quite enjoyable. And so that's why drama class is always really fun for me. You know, and last year when I was doing photography for the Fear Factory, you know, my brain just started to get the itch. I was like, I'd like to come down here and put on a costume and portray a character in some way. And so I've initiated that conversation with the owners. I'm just saying, hey, if I'm ever bored and, you know, if you guys would have me, could I just come on down every now and again just to scratch that acting itch? And the owner said, I don't see why not. So, yeah. But what I was thinking of possibly doing is because the Freddy glove, I used to play Freddy at the haunted house. And when I retired from acting, they retired the character. So that was the last licensed character they had in the show. And when I retired, they just said, we're not going to replace you. And anyway, but I know they don't want a Freddy again. They want to stay away from licensed characters now. But the glove is still so much fun to play with. It's like I had so much fun just tormenting people with it. I was trying to think of, like, is there something I can do, like some kind of a character that isn't Freddy, but it's just more of like inspired by, you know, and but he's not a burn victim. He doesn't wear a red and green sweater, you know. I was almost thinking of like some, like just a transient type individual. I don't want to say homeless or a hobo. I don't want, you know, just, you know, somebody without foundation, or, you know, roots where he resides. Anyway, and he's really disheveled looking, but he's just crazy up here. But he's developed this really wicked looking contraption glove. And I was there was a fan film that never quite got off the ground, but they shot a few like scenes. They even put out a trailer for it, and they developed a glove for it. And the fan film was going to be called Son of 100 Maniacs. And it was kind of like a prequel to Freddy Krueger, where it was Freddy during his human life years and the things he did to children and his victims and things like that. And honestly, the trailer looked really promising. And the guy that they chose, he kind of makes me think of that type of individual where he's kind of a dirty, just a kind of a loner type of guy. But he's charismatic. But he's not social. And he's just freaking crazy, but he just kind of looks gross, like he doesn't take care of himself very much. And, you know, he's got bad teeth, he's dirty, and he's got this glove that's just crazy looking. And, you know, it's got hinges on it and stuff, and it's just this really crude looking thing. And they developed Travis from Crew Gear, Travis Cowsill. He designed and built this wild looking thing of a Freddy glove, and the fans really opened their arms to it. And you know, a lot of people developed a love for it, and there are some builders out there that actually produce it or did produce it, replicas of it. And I was thinking of building something similar for use as my character that I was contemplating about. And so I've already got a few pieces. I wanted to make it feel really, really crude and just homemade and slapped together, but I wanted it to feel really tanky, like really strong and robust, and almost heavy to a sense. Um, but it was just so much fun to play with that. And I don't know what I would play as, like what kind of a character, like performance would I give to it. I don't know. I don't know that yet. It's just something I'd have to feel out. For some reason, I feel like my voice would be similar to Freddie. Just I guess it makes me think of how Jackie Earle Haley described Freddie's voice when he took the role of Freddie for the 2010 remake. He just envisioned somebody who sounds like they had inhaled a lot of smoke, and his like lungs are just full of soot, and it's just got that grovelly, raspy, deep voice. And that's kind of what I did as Freddie. I wasn't trying to be a Robert Englund impersonator. It was just basically my voice, but really deep. And excuse me. And that's kind of, and I wasn't like a clowny type, I wasn't a goofball. I was really dark. I was very serious, and just I wanted to be disturbing, like when I got close to people, and the things I would say to them or whisper to them, which is the same as saying to them. And just my behavior and the way I said things to them, I just wanted to make them feel uncomfortable. And so, yeah, I just got that itch. I don't know why I went on this rant, but I just miss that part now. I don't miss doing it full time. I mean, that's just, back when Amy was more capable, I could just leave every night and just go act. But I can't really do that anymore. And so I'm usually just mostly at home. But every now and then I'd like to be able to just, message the owners and say, hey, can I come down this weekend? Or something like that. And then I was thinking, because as people come into the haunt, they have to walk down this really long kind of gravel road, but it's all part of the haunt property. And they usually have actors, and there's the outhouses along there. There's photo ops and stuff like that along the way. But they always have actors roaming that area, just as entertainment for the guests as they arrive, type of thing, and as they leave, because the people leave through the same area. And actors are taking selfies with customers and stuff like that. And I thought, hey, that might be a good spot for me, because I'm not occupying a room in the haunt. So if I'm not there, I'm not vacating a piece of the haunt. And so, you don't have to worry about finding somebody to fill my room if I'm not there. But if I'm in a spot where I can just freely roam and just kind of show up, do my thing, and scratch that itch, then skedaddle. That would be a lot of fun. So yeah, I might do that this year. I should put more thought into it if I'm planning, because it seems like every year I keep thinking, oh, I've got time. Next thing you know, the month rolls around, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're starting to recruit people for this. Next thing you know, it's October. One thing for sure, when you get older, is the years just roll by faster and faster and faster. Next thing you know, you're dead. And then you're reincarnated and you get to do it all over again as a dandelion. Just kidding, I don't believe in that. Okay, anyway, I must be really talkative tonight or something. Maybe it's because I didn't get any phone calls at work today. Here I am, still talking. It's like Jim Belushi, or John, oh my gosh, Steve Buscemi, I almost said John Belushi. Steve Buscemi in Fargo. He's like total silence. Hopefully some of you have seen that brilliant movie. Good old Coen brothers. I wouldn't want to be a dandelion either. It's not a very productive life. You're not very unique. I mean, once you pop up, you're like, hey, here I am. What are you all doing here? Why do you look just like me? Anyway. And your hair turns white and it blows in the wind. So yeah. Message pop on my phone. Just making sure I'm not with elderly parents. Every time you get a message from the siblings, you're like, what is it? And I'm the one of the family that can help the least, except for my sister who lives out of town, but she stays more on top of things than I do. Every time, my parents are always like, you have a disabled person at home to take care of. You don't have to worry about contributing. I'm like, well, I feel helpless. So I try to help out where I can. Like if something needs to be moved or something like that, but for daily care and stuff like that, it's kind of hard for me to assist when I have to be home. Speaking of which, Amy fell this morning in the bedroom, so it's a good thing today was one of the work from home days. She's okay, but yeah, I think she did hit her head on something, but not severe, but it was enough to be like ow type of thing, but not hard enough to suspect, you know, head injury type of thing. But apparently she was having some seizure activity last night, and so she got up and she takes a lorazepam when she starts having some seizure activity. She takes her usual seizure medications, but every now and then, you know, some days are just bad. She'll just, for some reason, have these little petit mal seizures. And so she'll take a lorazepam to help get them to stop. And it usually does the trick, but it's quite a sedative for her. And so when she woke up this morning, and I didn't know that she had taken one of these pills. And so when her alarm went off, she's also extremely hard of hearing, but yeah, she doesn't say anything about, you know, headache and stuff like that. Just she seems fine. So I think she just bumped her head on something, you know, so it just hurt the skin type of situation. I don't suspect anything internally. But anyway, she woke up, she was just acting kind of strange, like slurring her words. It was like she had just woken up out of a coma and extremely groggy. I'm like, what is going on? So I just told her to get back into bed. I brought her all of her medications, had her take her meds while she was in bed. I said, just sleep. So she slept all the way until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Hold on, am I miscounting here? 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. So anyway, yeah. So that was a fun morning. Sometimes when she takes that medication, she's fine. Other times, she's really out of it, and it just knocks her out. It's just crazy how some of these small pill medications can have such a potent effect. But I will say I am very thankful for pharmaceuticals. Especially seizure medication, because it's gotten to the point where Amy has not had a grand mal seizure, which is like the full-on, shoot, I'm getting a blister, the full-on, you know, rigid convulsion seizure. I think the last one she had was 8 years ago now. Actually, 8 years ago this month. I think it was 2018. Because she broke her leg from a seizure in February 2017. And I know she had another seizure, and it was always in February. It was like she had one scheduled every month, every year. And February 2018, she had one. But that was the last one. she hasn't had one since. I don't know why. I mean, I know her brain is shrinking because of she has a mitochondrial disease. And so I kind of joke, it's like, hey, maybe the part of your brain that had epilepsy in it, which I know it's not true. It's the whole brain. Anyway, said if maybe the part that was causing your seizures no longer exists. Maybe it atrophied. Maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know. I'm not a neurologist, but this is the longest she's ever gone that I've known her. And we met in 2002. It's the longest I've ever seen her go without having a grand mal seizure. It eventually got to the point where she was just having one per year. But ever since then, nothing. I mean, I'm pretty sure she'd have one if we stopped her medication and stuff like that, but no plans to do that. I'm okay with no seizures. Because it doesn't just affect her, it affects me. Because if I need to be doing stuff, it's kind of hard to do that when you're right there with somebody who, yeah. Can't be alone. Excuse me. All right. All right. All of a sudden I got warm. All right, this is just garbage. I need to take this upstairs to my recycling. It's time to cut out some copper. Thank goodness. I've got a die press. I wish it was motorized though. Of course, if I got some spacers, I wouldn't have to crank this so much. Right about there. Okay. What are you sitting on? Yeah, it's middle. It's index. No, that's middle or ring. Goodness, that's index. That's pinky. Okay. All right. 12 fingers to stamp out. Thank goodness for pancake dies. All right, this is a ring finger. I emptied my recycling. Some copper recycling box now empty. Let's see, which way do I want to orient these? Do I want to go the long way? I could. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to turn the camera. No, that's the finger that I just cut out. Idiot. Wish I could do this with my template gloves. Save me so much time. The problem is getting dies that are exact to how my templates are drawn. I even had a test done where I had them created with a laser cutter. But even that, for some reason, the laser cutter wouldn't cut it right. So I just kept slightly going off track. And yeah, that was frustrating. I paid a lot of money to have that done. And it didn't work out. Thankfully, they refunded me most of the money, but still. Here I thought I was gonna save a ton of wear and tear on my hands and save a ton of time with cutting out parts for my template gloves. And I was excited about that prospect. Then that didn't pan out, so that was pretty disappointing. And I do like the idea that template gloves are all made by hand, like all the parts are cut out by hand and stuff like that. But you know, I was thinking more like long term and just trying to be more productive, save the wear and tear on my hands, because you know, I'm 45 years old now. I don't know why I'm saying that, but you know, I feel some things in my hands. I don't know if it gets picked up on the camera, but I hear the like pops and things like that in my fingers and my wrists and so I was trying to find a way to still produce an accurate glove while at the same time saving time and labor. But nope, that didn't work. So back to hand cutting it is, except for these gloves. These are my cheaper ones. So these don't have the accuracy standards as my template gloves do. Whew, I need a shower tonight. I'm feeling all like scratchy. Usually happens when I do work in the garage for some reason. I just feel like I get, even though I haven't done anything to warrant this yet, but it feels like I have just metal dust all over me. It's like just metal shavings. It makes me itch. And I already have a disorder, or a syndrome, I guess I should call it. Not a disorder, but where I already feel like I've got things crawling on my skin. What is going on? $18 messages. Hold on, let me get caught up. Sorry, I'm trying to just skim through these messages. Just talking about shopping involving my parents, but so I was trying to see if there's anything in there that's like I can help with. My dad's asking to get out of the house to go shopping. With my dad's declining ability to walk, it's becoming more of an issue. Instead of just letting a sibling or one of his kids go shopping for him, he insists on going with. And then he refuses to use a motorized cart. It's like, Dad, I know you don't like the idea of using a wheelchair and stuff like that, but you're 83 years old. Your legs are in terrible condition. I don't want to get old. I don't know what I'm going to do. Because my parents, they have their kids helping them out. I don't have kids. So when I get old, and if I get like that, what am I going to do? I don't know. Because I'm going to probably have a pension from my state job that would disqualify me for any type of Medicaid benefits to pay for like a long-term care facility or something like that. Anyway, I don't know what I will do. And they say money doesn't buy happiness. It's not. It might be true, but boy, does it buy you options. It gives you freedom of choice. And that choice, I'm sorry, my friends, can give you happiness and a peace of mind. So when they say money doesn't buy happiness, usually it's a poor person saying that, trying to just try to convince themselves that you're fine if you're poor, which maybe morally it's fine, but having money certainly helps. Especially when you have to pay for things out of pocket, like assisted living facility. Insurance doesn't cover that. Medicare doesn't cover that. You have to pay for that out of pocket. And how do you do that? Money. And so if you have a lot of money, you can afford stuff like that. If you don't, like my parents, you're left doing what we're doing, scrambling, not knowing what to do, filled with anxiety. And always worried about just getting to the next day. It's really all we're trying to do is just take one day at a time. Get through today, then the next day, get through today. Rinse and repeat. Like a bad shampoo. Or a good shampoo. Even good shampoos say rinse and repeat. I don't know if I'm still talking to myself. But it's awfully quiet out there. For some reason, I just got a picture of like everybody that's been in the conversation. Everybody's just fallen asleep, and just I've soothed them to sleep with my ever satisfying voice. I have become your white noise. Just have him playing in the background. It'll put me to sleep. All right. Okay, there's all the pieces cut out. Now I got to put the holes in them, and then I've got to clean up the edges because they have some serious burring going on around the edging. And I have cotton mouth. Whew. Oh. There's a convenience store nearby, and they're closing down for remodeling for a month. But this convenience store, they've got their Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar just slightly tuned a little on the high side, so it's a bolder flavor. And it's so much better than any other store. But they're closing for a month, and I'm worried that when they reopen, that they're going to have, redone the settings on the machine, and it's going to taste like every other place. And it's like, So it's just so satisfying when it's just got that bit of the extra boldness and flavor. So if I go back and I find that they have dialed it back after they reopen, I'm going to just say, hey, just letting you know, before you guys remodeled, your Dr. Pepper tasted so much better. It now tastes like everything else, everywhere else. Can you dial it up a little bit? Don't take away that one thing that brings me back to this specific location. All right. All right, these are pinky fingers. I need my pinky template, and that is right there. Come here, you. I said, come here, you. Come here, you. What are you, a deaf dog? Come here. Yeah, I mean, I know you do it, Aaron. But it would be funny if people did it with me. Just picture everybody out there just... Hey, let's just do a big, giant group video chat. Let's get a Google Meets going. Just one big old powwow. Actually, that would be kind of interesting. Clothes are mandatory. Unless you're female, and then... I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Sorry, I'm just a guy. Great, now Mark's objectifying women. All right, his live stream sucks. Downvote. I'm kidding. And there's a major itch on my left arm right now. Oh, Google Meets. Yep. We have the meats. I got it from Arby's. I am kidding. I don't want naked people on my Google Meets. Even if you are a female. Okay, that would kind of be cool. But no, I don't want people exposing themselves to a bunch of strangers. Come on. And again, that's what exotic dancers do all the time. But I'm sure I'm not having group chats with a bunch of exotic dancers. So that is not my social circle. If I even had one exotic dancer, you know, as an actual friend, that in and of itself would surprise me. Let alone multiple. Hey, maybe I'll become one and I'll get the ball started. Why'd you do it? I wanted to be an inspiration to others. It's never too late to live your dreams. As I'm humping a pole. Oh, the image. Oh. I have to wash my eyes out with soap. Push it through my brain with a syringe. Get that image out of my head. It's like, whoa, what happened to this conversation? It is gone off the rails. Let's see, what is it? No, I saw a video. I can't remember where I saw it. It might have been on YouTube or probably a TikTok or something. It was like a mock news story, and it says, "This just in. Allowing a man to squeeze your boobs has been proven to reduce male stress by up to 87%. It says, so ladies, this is your public service announcement. Find a man who looks tired and let him squeeze. It's just... And then they showed like some graph where it just says like, it's like boobs squeezed, happiness. It's just... Yes, the internet can be fun. Yeah, real, fake, doesn't matter. That's like Bill Engvall. He's like, look, I don't care. It's like big boobs, little boobs, perky boobs, saggy boobs. Says, you could have a pair of boobs that look like nanners. I don't give a damn. Says, heck, just seeing them. Bring a smile, bring a tear to your eye. You're sitting on the park bench, girl shows you her boobs, you're like, this day was great. All right. Okay, I got those marked. Time to the holes. Mark the holes, you know. Huh. Where's my puncher? There it is. Thankfully, my eyes are still good enough to be able to see these holes, or these dots, where I have to mark the hole. So Chris, if you got a hole puncher, how's that working? How's it going? You'll have to let me know what you think when you give it a try. I'm about to use mine here in a few minutes. All right. Yeah. See, nice stack of fingertips. Hey, Mr. Clearing, how do you buy a glove? Usually with money. I'm just kidding. Well, when I'm taking orders, which is not right now, anything I'm working on right now is pretty much for somebody already on my to-do list. But when you're on the list and I get to your spot, I reach out to you and let you know, hey, I'm ready to work on your glove. Are you ready once I finish it? And if they confirm that they are ready, then I proceed with the build. And then when it's done, we arrange for payment and then I ship it. That's pretty much the gist of it. But right now, I'm really not putting new people on my list for the time being because I'm trying to get it down to less than one page. And yeah, it's been because I've been tired of building, so it's hard to stay motivated to keep going. And I mean, I have spurts of, moments where I do a lot of glove work in a short period of time. But sometimes I just need to decompress. And um, yeah, and so see, how does my camera look? Hold on, sorry. Where's my mouse? Oh, might help to actually touch the keypad mark. Okay, it looks okay. Um, Sorry, I'm only looking at the chat windows, so I don't see the video feed. My camera just kind of looked like it was turned that way, just making sure it wasn't pointed at like I'm off to the side. Anyway, um, so yeah, when I'm just trying to get rid of this list. I'm so tired of having it. Maybe it would be nice that it's like if I just got rid of the list altogether and it's more of a first come first serve type of situation where I just say, okay, if I'm ready to build a glove, first person to message me and claim the spot, you know, and whoever I arrange it with, you know, and but I did the list to try to just say, okay, you're in line, you're in a queue, you know, but it does weigh on me psychologically just looking at this list and seeing, ugh, how much work is involved in it. Granted, there's a lot of money to be made in it, but I'm 45 years old. My wife is more disabled now than she was 20 years ago. And it's hard for me to dedicate as much time and find the energy to do so. I mean, maybe I can find more time, but it's having the energy to push myself through. Because even though this is not a very physical type of work, it's still just, it wears me out. I mean, it's like after a long building session, because I have a desk job, and to spend 8 hours in a desk job and then come down here and spend another 5, 6, 7 hours sitting in a chair, it's like, oh, you know, I need some movement. So, anyway, that's that. All right, I need my hole puncher. This is the big one. No, that's the small one. There we go. Okay. Let's punch some holes. Really should get a new one of these because I can tell this die is not cutting as well as it used to. It leaves a really big burr on the backside. I call it Bill. Thank you. I appreciate it. I mean, I wish I was superhuman to the point where I could, you know, accommodate everybody and make everybody happy. But, you know, I don't have a factory. These are all done one at a time, all by hand. Yes, I do have a die press to at least cut the parts out, but I still have to shape everything manually. Have to solder and braze them all together, shape everything, assemble it, weather it, you know, just cutting the shapes out. That's really the only thing that is done for me. I think I still have to crank the handle. There's that. I still have to flatten the copper and load the die or load the piece into the die. So it's not entirely automated. Hey, just having a die press ensures consistency. And it's the cheaper glove anyway, so never had anybody complain. Hold on, Aaron. I didn't see your comment. Give me a bit. Last piece. So. Ah. Ah. Sorry. By the way, if there's, I'm just going to reiterate, I've got YouTube and Facebook streams going at the same time. So I'm reading Facebook comments and YouTube comments. So some of my commentary may be confusing. Like somebody watching YouTube, I may be responding to a comment on Facebook and they're like, what is he responding to? So yeah. All right, now I got to remove this stupid burr, which I hate. All right, Bill, let's get out of here. One thing I hate about wearing these things, they're fogging up. Oh, I love having a new Dremel. Makes things so much easier. All right. Okay. Now it's time to actually go remove the burr on the legs. Ah. see. Sorry, I'm just rereading the messages. See, where would someone let you know they want a glove? Usually just on Facebook. That's really kind of my central hub. People either get a hold of me on Facebook or on Instagram. Ideally Facebook, but I know they're kind of connected. But usually just people best message me on Facebook and let me know. That's usually where it's all. That's kind of why my website now directs people to my Facebook page. I just got tired of trying to maintain both. There. Oh, okay. Thirsty. Hmm. Feels good when it just goes down. Feel it all the way down the esophagus. It's like, oh. Let's see what I've missed on Facebook Messenger front. Okay. Just getting caught up on stuff. Oh my gosh, stop autocorrecting. Okay, sorry. My cousin, my only cousin. Yes, I only have one. Um, I have a big family. Um, he's having hand surgery soon, and I was telling him that I've had hand surgery, and I remember being nervous about it because, um, you only have two of them, and the thought of something happening to your hand to make it unusable or less functional is scary. And I've had family members. I mean, granted, all this happened, like my hand surgery was before any of theirs. I think. I'm pretty sure it was, um, but what was I getting at? Just I remember being nervous about it because I'm like, I only have two hands and I need them to be functional. How much we rely on our hands. And I said, I'm really nervous about something going wrong or about doing more harm than good from this surgery. Sorry, I got a little tickle. I just remember telling the doctor, I said, Doc, I'm really nervous about this right now. It's like I only have two hands and I need them to be functional. So I'm praying that you take your time, just do a good job. I know you will, but I just wanted to put that in your ear and just tell you that I'm trusting in you that you know that you'll do your best work on this. And he reassured me that he would. And turns out he said that my result was the best one he's ever had for that specific surgery. He said nobody was ever able to get that much range of motion back. What had happened is it was an old basketball injury where it was this finger here, my pinky, on my left hand. Somebody had hit my hand downward like this. They just hit it, and this middle joint right here popped that way, and it ruptured ligaments on the inside of my pinky. And as they healed, scar tissue formed, and I developed a contracture to where I couldn't straighten my pinky more than that. It was stuck like that. I could bend it down, but I couldn't straighten it more than that. Even if I used my hand, I couldn't get it to straighten. And so he suggested a surgery. It's called a check rein ligament release surgery. And then I was friggin' like dedicated to physical therapy, even on my own, because my physical therapist described 10, I don't know, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but my physical therapist described a tendon like peanut butter. Like you open up a fresh new jar of peanut butter and you start to dig into it and it's thick, it's harder to spread, and move around, but if you move it and stir it and it becomes softer and much more malleable. And he says that's exactly what tendons are like. And if you don't move it, it'll become more rigid. And he says that's why if you can do as much therapy as you can tolerate during the healing phase, the scar tissue will heal and be flexible. You're training that scar tissue to have that flexibility. And but if you don't do it, if it just stays there, then you're going to have less mobility. And so when I was working, it's like I would flatten my hand on a desk and then I would put something on my hand to literally keep and press my finger straight. And then when I would do that and I'd hold it for like an hour or 45 minutes or whatever, and then I would tuck my fingers in like this and I would just make a fist and hold that for an hour. And I would work just, because I type with these four fingers anyway. And so I could still type even though I was like this. And so I would do that. And then when I'd have my hand on the desk, I would type with one hand. And, you know, so I just kept doing that all day long at work as I bend it, hold it, straighten it, hold it, bend it, hold it that way. And I would do that every day. And it's gotten to the point where I've got literally about 98% of my mobility. I've lost my hyperextension. I mean, I used to be able to really bend that finger backwards, but I don't have that now. But I've got virtually about 98% straight. Maybe it's 100% straight. It just looks 98% because the other fingers are hyperextending. But it's virtually straight, and then I can make a full fist. So he says that's the best result he's ever seen out of that surgery. He said most people still have a bit of a bend to their finger, but the fact that I can pretty much straighten my finger out, I can feel it, that it's tight. That's where the max extension of the ligaments are. I can feel the tendons in there going, that's as far as we can go. But I can at least open my hand fully and make a full fist. So that I can live with. So anyway, what time is it? 10:40? Okay. All right, let's shape these pieces back into pipe shape. It's just getting the curvature back in them. Oh, I need a pillow. Not for sleeping, although that would be nice right now. My back is going to be turned to you guys for a little bit. Just read your comment, Aaron. I'm trying to think of some clever retort, but I'm gonna say it is. I wouldn't say it's 2% a little gay. I would say it's bi. Anyway, back to this nonsense. All right, that was dumb. Stupid things all around. Ow, yep, I got a blister. Ow. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Clearing, how somebody pays. Usually it's through Venmo or um, Cash App. Um, I still do PayPal, but I only do friends and family payments simply because I'm kind of boycotting PayPal for them ripping me off a long time ago. And I pretty much, at that time, I decided I'm never sending you another dollar since you guys ripped me off $1,000. Um, so anyway, kind of those are the methods. Um, when did I start making gloves and how did I start? I started in, I think, September of 2007. So it'll be 19 years this year. And how I started is, I had just recently bought my first home, like my actual house, and it turned out to be more expensive than I had anticipated. And so I was looking, excuse me, I was looking for a second source of income, and so I actually started looking into doing day labor. And I even started registering with like some day labor agencies and stuff like that. And then just out of the blue, I don't know what, like why, but I got a little Halloween magazine in the mail because October was coming up, and it might have been like from one of those, Spirit Halloween type stores. Um, and I saw a metal Freddy glove inside of the magazine, and I was like, oh my gosh, I had totally forgotten that as a kid I was obsessed with Freddy Krueger's glove, and it was Freddy was always second to the glove. I was always fascinated more by the glove, especially the original, the first one from part one and part two. And the gloves that I always had growing up as a kid, they sucked. It was just those crappy one with even the fingertips were silver and these rounded, flexible rubber blades, and it sucked. And but I just remember still they were just still so fun to play with as a kid. And I always thought it's like, gosh, I wish I had a real one. I went to a haunted house one year, and there was a guy who had one. He built it himself. And I remember finding out who he was, and I called him up and I was like, hey, can you make one for me? Never went beyond that, um, but anyway, I just remember being fascinated when I saw one, and um, I was like, hey, wonder if people actually out there make these things. The internet wasn't around when I first, when I was a kid growing up, and I outgrew that, and I just forgot all about it. Now, when it re-entered my life, I started, I had the internet available, and so I looked it up, and sure enough, there were some people out there that built gloves. And I bought one. It's over here in my cabinet. And then I also noticed he sold do-it-yourself kits. And so I bought one, and I built a glove myself. Still have it. Gosh, I keep yelling. I'm so sorry. Um, and then I looked at he sold primarily on eBay at the time. And um, I noticed his feedback was like 2,300 or something like that. And I think that's all he sold on YouTube, on eBay was those gloves. And for him to have 2,300 feedback, I was like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of gloves. I said, and it's also a lot of money. And I always had a creative side to me and an artistic like itch that I needed scratching throughout my life. And so I thought, hey, I wonder if I could do something like this. You know, it's something I can do at home. Maybe bring in the extra money that I need for my financial situation. And I started down that road, and here I am 19 years later, still building. That's pretty much it in a rather large nutshell. But yes, I gotta move a couple things, but give me a sec. I'll see if I can get it out of my cabinet here. Now the templates on these are the same, because one was the one he built. The leather is gone. The ones I built, and they were made from the same templates. Hold on, let me pull up my video so I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is the armature. This is the first one I ever bought. So yeah, this is the one I bought in like August of, or July, somewhere around there, of 2007. That's when I bought this one. And then the first one that I ever built, I had no idea what I was doing. See, does this thing still fit me? Oh. It's weird to think that this leather is nearly 20 years old. Ugh. Sorry, the leather has come out from under the ringlets here. There. Ugh. So yeah. So, and I had it clear coated. But yeah, this is the first glove I ever built right here. I mean, I can't take credit for the templates because they're the ones Chris sent to me. And it was Chris Grantner of Razor Glove Lore. Let me get back to the chat window. There. So yeah. That is my first glove. I also have one of Chris's first gloves. Want to see how far Chris has come? I mean, he's retired from glove building now, but I have one of his first gloves. Hold on, my blankets fell. Ugh. I'm afraid to. There's spider webs on it. Hopefully there's no spiders in here. Well, let me see if I can clean this off. Okay. This is one of This is one of Chris Granter's first gloves right here. So yeah, he's come a long way. I mean, just look at that work. These blades are gnarly. These things are freaking pointy. You could really stab someone bad with these. These are thick blades, but they are really pointy. They're not sharp. There's no edge on them, but they are. You could stab someone pretty bad with these. So yeah, it's one of Chris Granter's first gloves right there. In fact, instead of storing it over there, I'm going to keep it in here with my other ones. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, I can sew one with no blade break. That's fine. Done that many, many times. Now, as far as stabbing goes, these are part 1 gloves and part 2 gloves. The blades on part 1s and part 2s are very thin, and I would not advise using them to stab things unless it's thin, like paper or something. But if you're stabbing like a cardboard box or something, wouldn't recommend it with these gloves, just because it's a cutting glove, not so much a stabbing glove. Like the later movies. The later movies had much thicker, heavier blades, but the original glove, they were very razor-like, very thin, flexible, and just made to look really dangerously sharp. And so I do like the part 4. Yeah, just the overall aesthetic, just the visual aesthetic of it. I just really like the style of it. It's really cool. Ooh, I'm starting to feel that ache in my right arm. That's not good. Anyway, yeah, the part 4 is my second favorite glove outside of the original. Now, I say part 1 and part 2, I like them both equally. You know, there's things I really like about the part 2 that I like more than the part 1, and vice versa. You know, but I think if I had to pick, it would probably be the part 1. You know, we're just like the shiny, clean blades, you know, where you can see the bevels really nice, and it's just to have that, you know, reflection, just that mirrored blade look and stuff, plus the back plate, you know, the patterning and the rainbows, the heat markings on the copper, you know, I really like how that all looks. But I also really do like the cohesive look of the part 2, where all the pieces look, you know, they're more uniform in color. The back plate, there's no obvious stain on it. I mean, it's discolored, but, you know, it's definitely faded. You know, and then the blades just makes it look more crude, how it's all beat up and the blade tips are blunted and worn down and stuff, and it just looks a little more used. But I don't know. I guess I think of like the opening, like the build sequence in part 1, that, you know, the whipping up open of the hand and then that palm turn, just that is the quintessential Freddy glove right there for me. So. Two more pieces. Okay. So, cheese, queso. Ah. So, ring, ring, ring. Who's there? So, I'm going to lay out these fingers. Okay, these are middle, 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 middle. Gosh, why is that hurting? See, this is exactly what I'm talking about, where my elbow gets this kind of aching. It's like a dull, nagging ache that kind of radiates through my arm. Not getting any younger, folks. Sucks getting older. You think your body's going to stay the same for as long as you live? Nope, it's not. Weird crap's going to happen to it for no reason whatsoever. You're going to be like, well, that's new. Why is it doing that? And doctors are going to say, you're getting older. Welcome to the club. That's just what happens. Enjoy the ride. When fate smiles upon you, all you can do is smile back. Well, I'm always building, you know, and so, but yes, whenever I take on new names for new customers, I usually post something, but yeah, just keep in touch. Just reach out to me on Facebook, you know. Maybe you'll find me in a good mood sometime, and you know, I'll just say, I'll add you to the list. Maybe somebody dropped off the list, and you know, and so this is what I'm working on. This is a part 2 right here. And so yeah, there's that one. I've got 3 of these. I've got one of my first prototypes. That's this one here. And I've got this one up here. Hey, come here, you. Yeah. So I'm trying for consistency, you know. Trying to get better at making them look consistent. I don't want, you know, the style of my gloves to vary. I don't want, you know, somebody to order a glove and get a glove different than what they're picturing in their head. It's like, no, I want my gloves to be predictable. It's like, that's what I'm showing, and that's what you're gonna get. All right, it's 11:10. Let me think. I should at least shape the fingertips and get, because I do need to get at least 1 or 2 of these sold within the next few days. So instead of working on all 3, I need to focus on at least 2 of them, because I have a bill to pay. So yeah, I got a lot of work to do this month. Oh. Is that splitting? Didn't seem to be. Okay. All right. Oh, dream job would be love to be my apprentice. You get bored real quick. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, when I first got into this, it was exciting. A lot of motivation behind me. You know, something new in my life and trying to build a reputation and a clientele and word of mouth and but never did in a million years that I think I'd still be doing this 19 years later. But like with anything, 19 years in, it's lost its luster. I don't enjoy it like I used to. I hate that. Um, I wish I still loved it as much as I did. I mean, I don't dislike it, but it's just I'm not as excited to do it. It feels more like homework. I think maybe it's because the reason I'm doing it is because I just need the money, and I don't like that. I wish this was something that I could do just because I wanted some extra play money, but because it's not that, because it's money that has to go to pay off debt, it's not play money, and therefore it feels more like an obligation. And I don't like, as I get older, I like fewer obligations um, because I have enough of them already. And yeah, I just wish I could do this for fun. It's like the money I bring in from it, I can go play with the money. But nope. I've racked up a lot of debt over the last few years. Um, a lot of it was medical stuff because since 2022, um, my wife's medical condition quite dramatically deteriorated, and a lot of medical stuff over that span of time. And so, yeah, especially 2022. 2022 was probably the worst year of my life, and that was a hard one to get through. So, so yeah, that's what most of this is still paying for, paying off. I mean, granted, we weren't in 2022, we weren't sure what my wife's life expectancy was, because she has a condition that is eventually typically fatal. But it's different for everybody. I mean, she could live into her 70s, whereas others don't survive past adolescence. And we didn't know what her future looked like. And so she had mentioned that she would wanted to get a Tesla someday because one of her characters in one of her books drives a Tesla. And I was talking about I'd like to get an electric car, and I just had a feeling she was going to like the Tesla. And so when her medical condition, when we got her diagnosis, um, I wasn't sure what her clock looked like as far as life expectancy. And I remember she said, it's like, I really wanted to get it. She doesn't drive, but she said she wanted to get a Tesla someday. And since I didn't know how much time was left, I started looking. This was late 2022. And then in January of 2023, I found a Tesla for sale. Had only 2,300 miles on it, and it was only 5 months old because it was originally sold in August. No, May of 2022. It was traded in August of 2023, 2022. Sorry, it was traded in August 2022, and the dealer still had it in January 2023, and they were desperate to move it off the lot. So they gave me a lot of money for my trade-in. I mean, thousands more than any other dealership offered. I mean, I went to three other dealerships and they offered me about $8,000 more than any of the other dealers did. And it was over market value. I mean, they gave me more money than what it was worth for my trade-in. And so that allowed me to make the switch from I had a Lexus SUV. I switched from the Lexus to the Tesla. And my overall monthly payment only went up by about $50 per month. So I figured that was the best opportunity to find, you know, a car that was used, but virtually still brand new, only 2,300 miles. That's nothing. And they were willing to give me thousands more for my trade-in. I was never going to get that in a million years anywhere else. So yeah, things kind of fell into place to make it happen right then and there, and things happened really quick. And I didn't think I was going to walk away with the Tesla at that moment, but it all happened within an hour and a half. I went from, yeah, I'll go for a test drive to, bye, I'm taking this Tesla home. So, and leaving my old car behind. It all happened so quick. So, anyway, so that's technically what I'm paying for with my gloves is my car. But on top of that, I also have all the debt that I racked up on a credit card. I just recently took out a home equity line of credit and paid off my card, paid off any higher interest bearing debt, and just consolidated everything into my home equity. And so now I just have my home equity loan and my car loan. That's pretty much it. So, but I appreciate it. You know, she's okay. She did have a fall this morning. I mean, she has a mitochondrial disease. It's called MERF, MERFF. It's like oh gosh, I forget the name. Like myoclonic epilepsy with ragged red fibers or something like that. It's under the umbrella of mitochondrial diseases. She was born with it. We didn't find out about it until 2022. And it's causing her brain to atrophy. And so her brain is slowly deteriorating over time, and it's dramatically shrunken her cerebellum, which is the part of the brain that controls your motor skills, like your balance. It's the balance center of your brain. It's, you know, it's your movement and coordination and stuff like that. Hers is dramatically atrophied, and so she has to use a walker to walk. Her handwriting is awful. It used to be really pretty, but now it's really shaky and scraggly. And that's all happened within the last 10 years. I mean, her health just took a dramatic downturn over the last 10 years. So yeah, because of all of that, you know, it's changed everything, and to the point where, you know, I used to build gloves because it was fun. But now I build gloves simply because it's bankruptcy otherwise. So yeah. Let's see. Let me shape these pieces here. Where's that? So I do want to maybe try to wrap this up before it hits midnight here. So I want to try to at least get these fingertips shaped. That way, next building session, I can focus on blade work. But yeah, it's nice to like get all the fingertips shaped and ready to go, because that helps me with like how long does the tang of the blade need to be, you know, so it hits just right. So all right. Hopefully my arm will tolerate this. Oftentimes this is the part where it really starts to ache, and it's already aching as it is right now. Because this is a lot of like gripping and squeezing and stuff, and that puts a lot of tension on the forearm. So I'm hoping that it behaves. Ow. For some reason my forearm does not like pulling. It's like when I have to like do this and then pull towards me, my forearm does not like that. Okay, so since this is for this glove, ow, yeah, the forearm's hurting. Normally I don't work on 3 gloves at the same time, so normally, ow, that hurts. Okay, now I gotta check to see if these are straight. Where's my, I just saw it. Oh, there it is. Gotta make sure that the pieces fit together right, and they look straight. Okay, that looks pretty good. Slightly turned to the right. So just a slight turn that way. That looks better. Okay. Ow. Yeah. Gosh. I hate this feeling. It's such an annoying feeling. It's not like a sharp pain, it's just this radiating, persistent, just this dull ache that just radiates around my whole forearm, like right around the elbow. It's just right in this area. And it is really uncomfortable. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I mean, that's not really going to help fix it. All right. So there's one finger. I may just do one set of fingertips today, just to give my arm a bit of a breather. See, if this copper wasn't softened, I would not be able to do this right now. I would be in a world of hurt. Hmm. That movement didn't feel good. None of these movements feel really good. Yeah, that forearm is angry tonight. Oh, it's more my elbow than anything else. Slightly turn to the right as well. Just a tiny bit. Yeah, just a tiny bit. It's just a lot of torquing. Not torquing, but torquing. I think that's what my arm doesn't like, is that feeling. There we go. That looks better. Yeah, I don't think my arm's going to handle all 8 of these fingertips tonight. I have to take some Tylenol, give my arm a rest. That's the thing that sucks about getting older, guys. It's just your body starts to wear out. Things you used to just be able to power right through become difficult. There's no way to avoid it. Well, there is, just don't do it, right? But what's the fun in that? There's no challenge in quitting.
especially my creditors. Granted, I don't have any creditors calling me, but I will if I don't do this. I've never missed a payment in my life, so I'm not about to start now. What happened? Oh, he just gave up financially. He just got tired of playing the game. Ow. Looks like I took on debt. I need to pay it back. Don't mind me. It's just my arm hurting. That's all. Just nothing to see here. Oh, that looks good. I like that. All right. Oh, gosh, it's such a nagging feeling. It's just persistent, fiery ache. I guess that's the best way to describe it is it's just a fiery ache. Just like this dull, burning feeling. Hey, I like that. That looks good. Okay. All right. I will leave you as is. Nice. Okay, I like it when finger cooperates. Okay. So index, middle ring. Now pinky. Hmm. Suppose I don't have to take the pinky out of this. I can...
This is why it hurts my arm so much. Just a lot of like squeezing and trying to get these fingers shaped. Where's my pinky finger reference piece? Ow. That one's probably in the container. Yeah, this needs to be wider. Ow, ow, ow. Okay, this needs to be widened just a little bit. Where are my needle nose? There they are. My needle nose, there they are. Widen that out just a little bit. really burning right now. I didn't think it was going to do this. There we go. It feels better. Okay, that looks good. All right. Okay, I think that's my stopping point for tonight. Just, my arm can't really take up more of this right now. So I've got 4 shaped fingertips. I can at least get started on those, but I gotta give my arm a rest. I hate it. I wish this didn't be a thing. Mom would have been 75. I'm sorry, Chris. Well, for what it's worth, happy birthday to your mother. And my mom's birthday is next month. So she turns 83. But neither one of my parents is doing amazingly right now. I mean, they're still kicking, but they're, it's just really just one day at a time at this point, and then, it sucks. It's going to happen to every single one of us. It's the only thing we really have to do in this life is get out of it. Not get out of it, but none of us live forever. But I remember there was an interview from, I think it was Andrew Garfield, after he lost his mother, how it really hit him hard. But he talked about how, he says, for millennia, sons have been losing their mothers. And he says, and it was just my turn to join the club. And he says, but that's the way, that's the order that it should happen in. Mothers shouldn't have to bury their sons or their daughters. It should happen in that order, in an ideal world. I mean, but when he talked about how he said, it's like, I'm not special. He said he got to a point where he was saying, woe is me, it's like, oh, sad, poor little me. And then he realized, it's like he broadened his perspective. And I'm not saying you should do this. I'm not trying to offer advice. It was just a thought that popped in my head, that he just said, sons have been losing their mothers for as long as humanity has been around. He says, I just am the newest member of that, lack of a better term, tradition. And there's no escaping it. But thankfully, to go in that order, instead of a mother having to bury a son or bury a daughter, you want it to be, if only it happened sequentially. It's like, oldest people die first, younger people live longer, and then they die, and then, if only it happened that way consistently. That maybe on average that's how it happens, but some people aren't so fortunate, and children die before their parents. I know no parent wants to experience that. So anyway, unless something happens to me, I don't know how much time my parents have left. Neither one of them is on their deathbed, should I say, but neither one of them has the capacity to really continue going out and living life in any meaningful way. at this point. It's just waking up, eating, living another day, going to bed. And when I say living another day, it's just mostly just sitting around at home watching TV and saying hi to your kids when they pop in, that kind of a thing, and go back to bed. It's like neither one of them has the strength or the capacity to be able to go out to a movie, go out to a restaurant, and go out and do things. It's all just pretty much mostly kept at home, just watching the clock tick away. And who knows how many ticks are left. So, oh yes, yeah, that is another one that he said. He says that the grief. Let's see. He said grief is the love you didn't get to give them, and the love you still have for them. Yeah, he did say that. You know what interview? I think it was on Stephen Colbert. I think is what it was. And so I even heard it's I think I don't know if it's but I just remember seeing it on a caption from Winnie the Pooh, and he said it only hurts so much because you were lucky enough to love so much. And I think that was related to like somebody losing a pet or something like that. And um, yeah. But Chris, you probably have I don't know what your situation is, but do you have the capacity to, it's like if you wanted to, you can get up and go out and see a movie, or you can go out and hit up a restaurant or something like that. And I don't know if again, I don't know if you have a medical issue or something going on that prevents you from doing anything like that. But, um, but yeah, I mean, is that by choice that you just don't bother getting out much? Or, I mean, my parents don't really have a choice because their bodies are just so failing that it's just too difficult for them to do it. Um, but yeah, yeah. Every now and then I come across videos on TikTok of somebody saying goodbye to a pet, or something. Yeah. Okay, Chris. So that's by choice. That's on you. That's on you, my friend. Um, you know, it's like you could get up and go and do something. My parents can't do that, and so, and that's sad, It's like when that quality of life, or your capacity to give yourself a quality of life is diminished to the point where you no longer can really do it anymore. And you're pretty much just dependent on others. It's like, that sucks. To live your whole life mostly being independent and taking care of yourself, eventually getting too old to be able to do that anymore. And now you have to become reliant on others. So you're back to being a baby again, essentially. And it sucks because a baby doesn't really have the knowledge or the experience of life, and of loss, and it's like they don't have the, oh, I wish I could go back to such and such. And babies don't have that. They're just kind of like an animal. They're just living in the present. Whereas mostly, at least if they're still mentally coherent, an old person is aware. They remember when they could go do things, and not being able to do that anymore can weigh on you and lead to depression and dissatisfaction and sadness in life, to where you feel like, it's like, what am I still doing here? It's like, I don't have anything to look forward to anymore. It's not like, oh, tomorrow we're planning a Disney trip, or whatever. It's just wake up, let's watch Netflix or watch the Game Show Network another day, and have lunch, have dinner, go to the bathroom, you know, and go back to bed and do it all over again the next day. You know, it's like it's not easy getting old. You know, getting old is definitely not for the weak. And you know, me being, you know, I know if I something happened to me, Amy couldn't take care of me. You know, she doesn't have the capacity to be able to take care of me. You know, if something happened to me, I'd be screwed. I would be in a whirl of hurt. I don't know what I would do if I became disabled in some fashion. Um, so yeah, ugh, the crap you don't think about when you're a kid. You know, it's like you just live in your own little carefree world. You just worry about being a kid, going to school, getting the good grades, and blah blah blah. Yeah, yeah. You eventually become your parents' parent at that point. You know, it's like they took care of you as a baby. They bathed you, they clothed you, they fed you, they, you know, changed you when you had to, when you messed yourself and all that stuff. And again, I'm bouncing back and forth between YouTube and Facebook comments here, but um, it's hard, you know. But and it's hard for me to do that with my parents because you know I've got my disabled wife here. None of my other siblings are married, and they don't have, you know, they're not caring for, you know, a spouse or a significant other, and so they're able to dedicate more time, and they have more of that flexibility in their lives to be able to be there for my parents, you know, which I'm forever thankful for. Because without them, I don't know what we'd be doing right now. Um, you know, it's like I can't be over there and, you know, leaving Amy all by herself. I mean, it's like I'm the one who takes the dogs out. I'm the one who does the shopping. I'm the one who does the cooking. I'm the one who does the laundry. I do the cleaning. I pretty much do everything. And um, so I can't just up and go and be over at my parents' house all day long, taking care of them when I have responsibilities here at my place. And you know, anyway, but the fire in my right arm is fading a little bit, but I know that if I tried to do any more work, it's just going to come roaring right back. So it's best that I just give it a rest, take some Tylenol, maybe some anti-inflammatory. I wish I knew what caused it. I don't know if it's just a flare up of scar tissue or something. I don't know. There's a click in my elbow right there. It's like click, click, click. Yeah. Oh, I get it in both. I get it in both elbows. Interesting. Okay, so that's not unique to my right arm. All right, never mind. It doesn't hurt. It's just I just noticed it, and I'm like, no, both arms do it. Yeah, click, 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 click. That's weird. That doesn't hurt, but no, I don't know what it is. It's just the radiating. It's just this dull, just this ache. That's all I can describe it as. Yeah, maybe, but you know, and I've injured that. You know, there is scar tissue in there. I mean, the doctor. I had an MRI on my right arm. I forget how long it's been now, but um, he said I almost tore the tendon completely off the bone, and so I had tennis elbow for about 8 months. I really couldn't do a lot of glove work for about 8 months, and so that sucked. Um, but yeah, I mean, it could be, you know. too many years of making gloves. You know, it could be the wear and tear of the mileage. You know, it's like a bald tire. You know, I wish I could just put a new tire on. You know, that would be nice. If only our bodies worked that way. But nope. Once your tires go bald, um, good luck. And so maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just the wear and tear of the mileage on my arm. And it's just, I just have to listen to it. And when it flares up, ease off on the throttle a little bit, give it a rest, come at it again tomorrow. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up. It's midnight now, so I have to feed the dogs their evening meal. Got to take them out. I need a shower because I feel like I'm covered in grit now. Especially, I always feel that way after a session of glove work. But I appreciate you guys keeping me company. Yeah, it's not the years, honey, it's the mileage. Very true. So, because the more miles you put on, even in a short span of time, you know, can wear things out. But didn't Donald Trump have that belief? Didn't he say that it's like the reason he never really heavily physically active because the less I move, the less I wear out my body. And you know, it's kind of like, you know, a car. You know, the more you drive it, the faster it's going to wear out. And the same thing goes to your body. It's like if you just hold still, it won't wear out. But you could get buildup. You know, keep things loose and moving. You know, so I don't know. I'm no doctor. I just know I need to be more physically active, and I eat too much. I've been snacking too much lately. I probably put on weight. I'm afraid to get on a scale. I lost 20 pounds in the last several months, but I probably put a bunch of it back on again. I hate it. You know, I get disciplined for a while, but then I fall off the wagon. You know, it's like being an addict in a sense. So, anyway, guys, take care of yourselves. Stay safe out there. Enjoy life. Smile. What can you do? Be thankful we get to experience this thing called life. You know, we're the lucky ones because there's more people that, like, if you look at a DNA sequence, the number of people that will never be born outnumber the number of people that ever will be born. It's like, because each DNA sequence is an individual person. And there are so many possibilities that throughout the span of the anticipated timeline, like lifetime of the Earth, the number of people that will have lived and died will be a small fraction of the number of the potential humans that could have ever existed if every single possible DNA sequence became a human being. So we're the lucky ones. We're the lucky ones that got our number drawn, and we get to experience this life. We get to experience, like Stephen Colbert, he's like, you know, we get to experience life, you know, and with that comes suffering. And so you have to be thankful for all of it, you know, because it's part of life. There's no escaping it. You have to be thankful for it. If you're going to be thankful for your life, you have to be thankful for all of it. So that's wise words. So I try to remember that. I sometimes forget it, you know, and hopefully we can all find that happiness. Anyway, thank you for attending my TED Talk. So you guys take care. Let's see, how do I stop this multi-stream? Okay, see you guys later. Have a good night.